So here we go. We are live. And thank you, folks, for joining us. We are streaming live from the Gym Supply Cleaning Festival in Lakeland, Florida. It is now about 1:30 in the afternoon on the 23rd of March. And one of the things that we started with this year were what we call Cleaning with the Academy. What is this? Well, this is where I get up, and as you probably already know, you've seen me hundreds of times already. I get up in front of the camera and, well, I spout off a little bit of something I know. Now, why am I doing that? A gentleman this past year kind of gave me an insight into something, and he said, there's only one thing that you take with you when you leave this earth. Well, I kind of looked at him, kind of puzzled, and scratched my bald like it is. Says, tell me what it is. I didn't really know. And in his wisdom, he says, your knowledge. Well, I'm here to tell you that after 50 some years in the cleaning industry, I have a little bit of knowledge. Now, I didn't say it was all perfect, but believe everything I say, right? Yeah, right. Yeah. Believe everything Dave says. No. I am, I'm a transplant from Missouri, been in Florida now 7 years. And one of the things that in Missouri, it's the show me state, if you didn't know that. Not just because I was there and spent so much time there, but I really do believe if somebody can't prove something, then why should you believe it? Everybody give me an amen on that one? Amen. I got you there. So here's the thing. I started a series of cleaning hacks. Now, if you don't know it, what is a hack? Well, I guarantee you, whenever I got started, I had absolutely no idea what the hack was. That's another language to me. Really what it means a tip, a little short tip of something that gets you to go, maybe I need to think about this. So what we're going to do this afternoon is we're going to do floor care hacks here. And we're going to talk about a number of different ones, a number of different things. These are things I've already taped. I'm going to show you one and we'll talk about it. So this morning you sat there and listened. This afternoon, you got to talk with me. Now, if you're watching on the internet, and I see somebody is, thank you very much, appreciate that. Let me click a button over here for comments so I can see your comments. So if you're watching live on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, put in your comment and I will take a look over on my screen over here. Otherwise, what's the first hack of the day? Well, let's get it up here and see if that works. There it is. So what's our first hack of the day? It is dealing with floors. Folks, there is only one thing in all the things I've done and all the areas I go. And by the way, just for you that think I only do it right here, next month about this time, I'm going to be teaching students on the island of Bermuda with the government of Bermuda. So this has no boundaries. When it comes to a building, soil comes in the door. 80% of what a custodian takes care of, or a janitor, whatever you want to term yourself, is floors. So why are we talking floors this afternoon? Here, we live in the land of what, folks? Sand. Did you know that sand, one grain, one single solitary grain, has up to 57 cutting edges? Why do they call it sandpaper? Because it's rough. So what's going to keep the sand off of your floors? Not you. You can't chase enough of that sand. Mats. They don't call in sick. They don't have family problems. They're not late for work. Hey, now you're laughing over there. I know you've seen all of you. Have you heard all of those excuses? Right. Here's my hack. Get rid of the excuses. Mats. Now, if you don't believe in quality mats, something a customer of mine taught me, he said, you know what? They are not a commodity. They are not something that you buy along with your chemical budget. He said they're a capital investment. Why? Because they don't last for just, a week or two, right? How long should a mat last? Come on. I said participation afternoon. That means you have to talk to me. Come on.
20 years.
20 years. So if something lasts 10 years or so, the CPA says depreciate it. Did you know that a chair that you're sitting in, the table that you're sitting at, are capital expenditures? They're amortized out, they're depreciated. And he said, so you buy your mats, like you see here in this picture, that are quality mats that do a job for us every day. So just think about this. You buy a vacuum, do you depreciate the vacuum? Do you buy an auto scrubber? Do you depreciate the auto scrubber? So the thing is, how many people have bought a $400 mat? See, there's my hack. Put it on a budget that it actually gets to. So what's our next hack for this afternoon? Stone floors. Now, I do a lot of different types of floor work. Stone floor seems to be one that's really gaining a lot. Well, here in Florida, we have a lot of stone floors. How do you identify what kind of a floor you've got? There's 4 different identifications that we teach in class at the Academy, and here is one of them. Nope, wait a minute, that's the wrong video. I want that video first. Go ahead. See that little white bubble? Do you see how quick that happened? Did you catch it? Did you catch it? Did you blink? You see, that's what's called an acid test. Okay, so if you're making notes, there are 2 types of stone. So now here live on the air this afternoon, I'm giving you away some free education. That's what hacks are. Little short things for you to remember. There's 2 types of stone. Ones that contain calcium. If you put acid on it, it fizzes just like what you saw. And those that don't. And everybody thinks that stone is so complicated. It is in some ways, but you have to first recognize, does it have calcium or does it not? And what happens if it does have calcium, acids work that quickly, just like what you just saw. Okay, so what's the next hack? Next hack is if you're doing a floor, stone floors. Now, terrazzo would be a stone floor. Did you know terrazzo is a stone floor? How many people in terrazzo was a stone floor? Do you know what that stone is? It's in terrazzo. See, you just thought it was just any old stone. Come to class, we'll teach. Oh, I'm sorry. I have to do that. I mean, you know, this is the pat answer, right? Come to class and I'll teach you all about it, but that's the truth. You know, the thing is if you've learned anything over the last few years, what? Contaminations and all of that. Let's not forget about all the rest of it. We've got to take care of the whole buildings, right? Not just one thing. So when it comes to the floors, stone floors, well, there's this thing called shine. Anybody ever heard of shine? Gloss? Anybody awake out there? Not you folks out there on the internet. I know you're not, I couldn't tell if you're awake or not. Okay, so anybody heard of shine?
Yeah.
Gloss? Mm-hmm. Gosh, if you're a custodian, that's all they talk about, isn't it? How shiny is the floor? Well, how shiny is the floor? All right. Now, what does that number mean? Does it mean anything to anybody out here? Nobody on the internet? You don't even know what it means either? Am I the only one that knows what that means? See, that's why we have a class. Because what that is it doesn't really mean anything. But what it does, it gives you a starting point. Because if you don't know where you're going to start, how do you know where you want to end? Right?
Yeah.
Anybody have GPS on their phone?
Yeah.
It needs 2 things. What are they? It needs the internet. I know that. I get that it needs the internet. The other 2 things then? No. Starting and where you're starting and where you're going to go. Here's the problem with shine on a stone floor. Is shiny the same thing to you as it is to me? No. So if you can't quantify the number, how do you know where you're going to go? So part of the visual test when we're doing stone floors is to set the expectations. What do you really want? What is it you're trying to achieve? I want a shiny floor. Well, how shiny is shiny? And so what we do in class is we did a test, just like what you saw here. What he was doing there was evaluating the starting point. So now you can imagine as we went through the steps of polishing the stone floor, naturally, not putting a coating on it, we wanted to get to a certain number. That's the hack. So any cleaning that you're doing, when it comes to floors, set the expectations. Know where you're starting and know what the end goal is. Now, did you not hear Mike talk about that earlier this morning? He was setting the same thing up with graphics and stuff. Here I am using a meter. By the way, that's called a gloss meter, if you wanted to know. All right. So, what's our next ones? Going to move to the most popular flooring material on the market right now. If you didn't know this, luxury vinyl floors are the #1 type of floor that's being put on in buildings. It's overrunning carpet. VCT is going away. Laminate, it's had its history. Right now, it's LV. Now, there's many things you need to know. We've got a whole class on that. But here is one of the products, and I'm not going to play you this whole video because I don't have time this afternoon for all of these. By the way, there's over 400 videos on my YouTube channel. Anybody scan the yellow paper in front of you? Go to that YouTube channel, subscribe and like, and anytime I put up a video, a new one, you'll get it. There's also 110 videos in the How to Do playlist. You'll find this video there. And once it starts, I'm going to kind of advance it. Once this gets going here, it kind of has to roll.
Today we're talking here about,
I'm going to go through this. So what this is this is a luxury vinyl floor at a country club that called us in and said, oh, it's just all real nasty. It needs to be cleaned.
and now we're
Actually, down to microfiber.
a wet. So you can see is that we're going with the grain. Already done. You got rid of the dry grade.
Now, what I want you to see, do you see how each one of these is kind of raised a little bit? This is caused by somebody using a mop system that is way too wet. So what I call it is the old sloppy, dirty, nasty, filthy, ugly. Did I get enough acronyms in there? Okay. Do you get an idea? I hate them. Why? Because they leave the floors too wet. And this is the big difference between VCT and LV. Because why? This is an elevated LV floor. LV stands for luxury vinyl, right? Everybody understand? Good. Glad they understood that, folks. I don't know about you. I was just hoping they would. Anyway, the thing is it's an elevated floor. Now, if you come to class, we'll explain it's not the vinyl on the top that we're worried about. It's that the seams where these butt together, they have a tendency to open up just a little bit. And when they do, and you drag that mop pad across there, the water goes down there. And the product underneath is of a component that absorbs liquid. And that's where you get that cupping. And then they say, what can we do about it? Replace it. So how do you keep that from happening? Is don't use the sloppy, old, dirty, nasty, filthy, grimy bucket that we've been using. That system right there that I showed you is the best system because it controls the amount of liquid. and it gives you clean cleaning solution with using very minimal. So if you don't know the LV and you don't know what you're working on, you're going to damage it. Not that you did it intentionally, but this is what's happening out in the market. Because why? I know how to mop a floor. I don't need to go to class. And then they call me in and I go, replace it. You know what? It's so much cheaper to get the right education and start doing it right from the start. Now, let's go on because we don't want to spend all our time on this one because I got some others. Hang on. Come on. There it is. So that's what you do daily. Now, on an LV floor that's lost its luster, kind of has, this kind of got just, it's clean. You know how to know if a floor is clean or not? Come on. I'm not the only one that knows anything around here, am I? Sorry, folks, if you're out there and these people don't know, maybe you do. Maybe you'd like to chime in because I'm looking at the board and you're not chiming in either. Take a white rag, put some water on it, and take it on the floor. And if it comes up white, it's clean. If it doesn't, so most of the time, the LV floor is dirty. And they didn't clean it. That's why we have to clean. But you got to use the right system. After you've done that, and you go, you know what? It's just lost it. I need a periodic product that'll help it gloss a little bit. This is Renew. Now, I designed these products. I wrote the instructions on there. I called it Renew because what do I want to do? Renew the shine, right? So here's the video on that. Now, this is also using cylindrical. You'll see it down there in the tornado booth. Cylindrical scrubbers are the way to go when it comes to cleaning LV floors. So we went over the microfiber and more mop to clean the floor with that divided system. And maybe we got a problem here. Hang on. I'm going to have to help it. Come on. Every once in a while, the system gets stuck around here.
Once what we've done is we've cleaned our floor, but you know what? The luster just is there, and we like to enhance the color a little bit. So what we're going to do is Renew. Now it mixes with water. We've got water in our tank here. I've got a tank of fresh water. I've got my measuring cup. I'm going to dilute 4 ounces of Renew.
Now you get the idea. So here's what happens. Now remember, what we did is we just mopped the clean on there, just mopped the floor clean. Now
we're going to take this into transport mode.
Renew.
We're going to lower this to about the second setting. That's going to do is allow the brushes to go on the floor, the squeegees to go on the floor, but this is how I
look at what it looks like after we run the scrubber. I say we do. I hope we do.
I move my squeegees, so you'll see me hit my foot on this to lower and raise the squeegees. So to start with, I'm going to swing the machine around, and this will make sure that I'm doing water.
What this does is it has a brush on either end. It has a vacuum on either end. The black tank on top is where the Renew is. The yellow tank is where it's going to recover. What this does is bring out this Renew product. Now, you do not use it as a cleaner. It is not a cleaner. You have to look at the difference. See that difference immediately? Now, you're not going to do this on a daily basis. You're probably going to do this once in a while. It depends on your traffic. It depends on your situation. But look at the difference. Take the floor around. Difference. See, this here is where we haven't done anything, and there's the difference. And all we did was clean and renew. A gentleman came in here, was here earlier. We did a little demo. You'll see it in the how-to videos. And he's got a rubber floor. The same thing that you just saw, clean and renew, is what we do in rubber. Clean, 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 renew. clean, 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 renew. Can you do it with me?
Clean, 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 renew.
Yay, that was good. That's the first time I did that. That worked good. I'm going to have to try that. Hey, we got a new song coming up. Clean, 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 and renew. Gee, it's so much fun being in class. All right, so let's go to the next one here. The thing is, every once in a while, you get a situation where they done screwed it up. You ever had one of those? They done screwed it up and they call you, hey, fix it. Well, because I've been in the business and I'm a little long on the tooth in that area, you know, they always come to me, hey, fix it. Well, I wish you'd just come to me before you screwed it up. But what have people done? People want to shine on the floor, right? Isn't that what our customers want? Boss says, hey, put a shine on it. So what do you go do? You're not going to own up to it, do you? Because you're probably the one that screwed it up already. What do people do? They grab the floor finish that they put on their VCT and they slap it on this floor. I get it every time. Yeah, if I'm in the classroom all week long, at least once a week, somebody comes in and goes, "Can I get the floor finish off the shelf and put it on my LV?" Sure. And then call me when you have a problem. I didn't tell you to do it. But here's what happens when you do. There is a way to get it off. But remember what I'm going to say here, folks. Do not use a rotary machine and a stripping pad. You want to know why? Come to class. But here's your video. Please. Sometime today. You know, sometimes working with the internet is good, sometimes it's not. Yep. So what do you see here? You see two different colors, right? Well, here's where we took the renew or the restore, put it on the floor, and use this cylindrical machine. And very quickly, you can see the difference between why? VCT floor finish just sits on the top. It does not penetrate into the vinyl. It can't. Did you know that vinyl is non-porous? That means that the VCT floor finish that you're putting on there is just sitting on top. In seconds, by putting the restore on there, took this machine with 2 brushes on it and just peeled it right off the floor in seconds. And you can use a 9 or a 10 pH stripper instead of a 13 that you're used to using on your VCT. Much more friendly to us, much more friendly to the surface. So once you restore it, what do you now start doing? Clean. A guy called up, he says, what should I use? Clean. He said, yeah, I know I need to clean, but what do I use? Clean. See how my conversations go? Yes, you just use clean. Why do I call it clean? Because it's, you know, I mean, you should know. It's clean it, right? You restore it. Now, let's move on here to our next one. Come on, past that. I don't want to go anymore. On the case where you have somebody that has damaged the floor. Anybody have an LV floor that's already scratched up? Where somebody's already taken the chairs and the tables, okay? How do we repair them? Well, there's a way that we teach you in class, but you've got a floor that looks like that, right? Scratched up like that. Well, here's the thing. When you damage LV, you can't repair it. You replace it. So how to get rid of the scratch? We camouflage it. And there is a technique to do that. However, once that you use that technique, then you have to put on there a product called Shield. The scratch didn't go away. The scratch is still there. But what we did is we do kind of what some body guys do on body paint on cars and stuff. You kind of sand it out, blend it out, and then you put a coat over it. Here's the problem. Once that you have taken your floor that's damaged and messed up, and you have put the shield on it, you will always now be taking care of the shield. Remember, LV floors are meant to be low maintenance. The second you put the shield on there, you've now returned it to a high maintenance floor, just like VCT. Unfortunately, too many people want this shine, and we need to inform them that is not the way the product was intended. It's intended to have a matte shine. So my advice is you've got two different avenues, right? What we're talking about this afternoon is we're talking about you want to do this clean and renew on your brand new floor or a floor that hasn't been damaged. If it has been damaged, you're going to have to restore it, remove everything off of it, feather that out, and put shield on it. And now you start taking care of the shield. We teach this in the class. Now, that's two types of floors, but you have a lot of what we would call vinyl composition tiles still out there. Anybody have an idea when vinyl composition tile first came about? Nobody? Nobody? Did you know it actually started in around 1920? Vinyl, the VCT is over 100 years old. Now, here's a couple of different hacks for you. You'll find this down in the show, down there, the no-touch cleaning machines. Well, I have a lot of different ways I use it, but most people never used it the way that I do. Gee, imagine that. You ever thought about that, Mike? You know, I'd do something different. So what you have here is you have a team that's working. Get this here stuff. Anybody see what's happening? Well, first of all, we got a guy here spraying water out of the no-touch cleaning machine. Spraying water, no chemical, just water. We've got a lady here running an oscillating floor machine with a pad underneath it. We've got a gentleman here running his auto scrubber. By the way, you'll find them down in the Pacific booth. The tornado machine down there. And then we've got another guy vacuuming up right off of that. Got 4 people working, and you know what's the best thing about it? There's no stripper in sight. Chemical-free stripping. Now, technically, water is a chemical. Yeah, so no added chemical. No smell, no slip and fall. Something I learned a long time ago you can do. This was a team, this team had never done this together. 3 of those people never had run those machines, but within about 30 minutes, here they were. Why? We didn't have the stripper residue. We didn't have all that tracking all over the place. We didn't have the slip and fall. We didn't have the humidity. All of those things that you're used to, right, with VCT, gone. So there is a way to do that. We teach that in class. I don't want to go through a whole long, like I said, these videos are on my YouTube channel. You can get them and watch them in full length, right? So what's the next hack here this afternoon? How to lay finish once you've removed the bad stuff. Notice what she's doing? She's just walking along at a steady pace. Out behind her comes this stream of floor finish. Depending on how fast she goes and how wide she opens that valve, you notice the finish is all out there. By the way, if you see Jason, the guy that kept you in today, I don't even like the way he backs up. Because that's Jason. What was his very first time ever doing this? There's a process that I show. I've done this for years. You have a special pad underneath this that doesn't absorb finish, it spreads it. But there's only 2 gallons of finish used on this 1,900 square feet of floor. Here's what was done. Now that's shine floor. Now here's the thing. When you looked at that, he had never laid floor finish before ever. I hear this so much of the time. Well, we only have certain people that can lay floor finish. Baloney. I got other words I could use too, right? Yeah. You ever use those words? No. Okay. We're live on the air. I can't say that. You know, the thing here is We have to use systems that are user-friendly. This is what we teach in class. If it's not user-friendly, you shouldn't be using it. There shouldn't be only one person can do this. And when I usually find that one person is usually doing it wrong. Well, according to Dave. I'm the instructor, so I get to say that, right? Come on, you could laugh. It's easy. I mean, you can laugh at me. I laugh at myself. All right. So, got a couple other hacks. It's 2 o'clock. We're going to start our decontamination right after this. So we'll go from this right into decontamination. But I've got 2 more hacks for you on maintenance of equipment.
Hello. And welcome to another episode of, well, a hack when it comes to auto scrubbers. You know, everybody knows about rotary machines, you know, with the big pad that goes around and around. I've had those for years. I got a hack for you. Use a cylindrical brush. This machine has the other. They both rotate the same way. And what that does is it gets into these and unlevel floors. Whenever you're doing floors, you don't only have just one type of floor. And you know, the thing is, people with pads, they never clean them. With these, you'll never have to clean it.
Now, did you see that pad on that pad driver? Did you catch that? What did you see? Who saw it? What did you see? It was worse than dirty. Oh, I got to go back. I got to show you because I know this is only 1 minute. You probably didn't see the whole thing. Come on, let me have that. There you go. Come on, let me have the button. There we go. Come on.
One in front of the other, and they both rotate the same way. And what that does is it gets into all those little nooks and crannies and unlevel floors. You know, the thing is, whenever you're doing the floors, you don't always have just one type of floor.
Do you see this? They had used the pad on there so much that they wore it out, and the pad was gone, and it was actually scrubbing the floor with the bristles of the pad holder. You think that's funny? We see it all the time. I went to a location and said, I'm here to do the in-service with you and everything. How long have you been using it? Oh, about a month. I said, how many times you change the pad? We have to change the pad? You can't clean a floor with a dirty pad. You can't clean a floor without a pad. So why even use the pads to begin with? If you're stripping the floor and you're using stripper, you know what? What chews up a stripper? A brush. Has anybody ever seen a vacuum on a carpet? I know I'm changing surfaces here. That actually runs this way? No, it runs this way. Why? To lift. So a cylindrical brush machine spins all of the dirt and everything off of it. You never have to worry about that. It's always a clean brush touching a dirty floor. So come to one of my classes. We'll teach you all about that. But here's another hack on the other end of the machine, if I've got the right one up here. Now this one's embedded in here.
And it's fairly simple. Take the reason that you're doing this is because this squeegee is the most important of an head is on the machine. This is the business end. It's the last piece and it picks it up. Now, if this squeegee is damaged right here, it's not going to work. How do you know if it's damaged? How do you know if it's not clean? How do you know these things if you don't take it off? So here's my advice for you. Always, always, always take the squeegee off of the machine before you park it in the closet. So folks, if you go to get the machine, it's in the closet and the squeegee's on it, chances are the last person didn't inspect it.
If it's in the closet, the squeegee doesn't belong on the machine. Anybody ever say that? You think that's okay? I mean, is that some good hacks there, folks? Can you use any of that?
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Which one is the best one? All of them. Yeah, I beat you to the punch on that one. Okay. Like I said, scan the little QR code, go to the YouTube channel, subscribe, like, and get the new ones. I'm going to switch a little bit here, and we'll just go right over into decontamination hacks and get them over with for you. So if you want to stick around, please do. If not, I'll see you back on the internet sometime later, folks. Bye for now.